I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, laws of the state of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2023. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of the schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of the schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2023. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just have an excellent announcement that the Merck property was finally sold to Onyx Equities. It's a solid, I'm sorry, I'm skipping. Roll call, Madam Clerk. Sorry about that.
Councilman Finestrella.
Here.
Councilman Morrow.
Here.
Councilman Pence.
Here.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Scurisi.
Here.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Here.
Okay, I'll try this one again. It's a great announcement, so it's worth saying twice. The Merck property was sold to Onyx Equities. It's a solid company, and the borough is in good hands. Merck will still be on the property for the next at least 2 years, and as they vacate, the new owners will be looking to bring in, and it will remain a life science campus. So it's great for Kenilworth. We're not in a situation where the Union, where the property was vacant for X amount of time, and I think that happened in a few other Merck sites. So we're ahead of the ball here, and it's just really great news, and I'm excited to share it with you. I'm going to move on to the finance report. Councilman Puglisi.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance Committee will be meeting in about 2 weeks to discuss the budget and about 7 to 8 other things, including ways to bring more revenue into town and obviously to reduce spending or reduce the increase in spending. And that's going to be in 2 weeks. I'm also I'd like to let you know that representatives of the borough, including our CFO and I believe our representative of the court, met with PNC Bank, which is our bank, our official bank in town. And one of the items that was discussed was that bank is going cashless. Believe it or not, a bank that has tellers that will not accept cash or give you cash. So that's going to be something that we're going to discuss how we're going to work around that. And it was mentioned during the work session by our CFO, Joe Good, that perhaps hiring the Brinks or switching banks or getting help from the police department. There's a lot of ways we can go about it, and some ways seem better than others. But that's something that our CFO will look into, and the Finance Committee, and hopefully we'll get back to the full council on how we're going to handle that. Secondly, what our CFO was successful in doing was to get our interest rate, the town's interest rate, with the money that we have at the bank, increased. As many of you know, if you have a savings account, no matter how much money you get in there, you see what your principal is, and you see how much money they're actually giving you on your interest. It's almost nothing, So, but our CFO was successful in negotiating an increase in the interest rate, which is, I believe, almost double what we had been receiving in years past. So kudos go out to her for that. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilman. Department of Public Works, Councilman Finestrella.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy to announce that the administrative assistant started work at the DPW this past Tuesday. I met with him, and he seemed to be very excited to be a part of the team there, and he seems like he's definitely a good fit, and kudos to him for, I think he's definitely going to be a good fit there.
Great.
The bulk waste, we're still looking into the when and bids to put out. If we're gonna have it once a year, but I think it's gonna be twice a year. We thought about once a year, but it really isn't too much to have it on two annual, every 2 years, twice a year instead of once a year. Also, I discussed with Mike Rizzo, DPW superintendent, that street sweeper comes through Monday through Friday. There's certain sections that the cars are there. Maybe we put together a bulletin on which sections, we'll let them know when their street's gonna be swept so they can have the car either on the other side or whatever side, in the driveway or whatever. And we're also looking to hire full-time a part-time worker that's working at the DPW. So more to come on that. We're thinking of having them maybe start next month. So,
Great.
yeah, and that's all I have.
Excellent. And I'm just going to add one thing. I just thought of this when you were giving your report, and I don't know if this is helpful for anyone, and obviously I don't believe it would be big items, but the United Methodist Church has a thrift shop, and I just recently, as recent as this past weekend, was just getting stuff that I didn't want anymore. And I actually called the pastor there, and she was like, yeah, bring it over. So I got rid of all this stuff really easily, and they were super grateful to have it. So if that helps anyone with their bulk pickup, I mean, I don't think you can bring a mattress there, but if you have glassware or whatnot you want to get rid of, go take it.
But Mayor, if I can just add to that, just make sure you bring it inside, because if you put it out in the bin outside, that's an outside vendor, they don't get it for the church. If you
I
bring
didn't
it
even know there was
inside
a
to
way to
them,
bring it
they
inside,
can actually put it
outside.
in their resale center, so.
I would just contact the pastor there, and if you want to bring things there. Okay, Department of Public Safety, Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to start off by saluting Michael Devlin after 25 years of service to the police department. He is doing his walkout a week from today, on March 8th, right here in the front of Borough Hall, weather depending. If it's bad weather, he'll probably do it inside where we're seated tonight at 12 noon. And his official retirement date will be June 1st of 2023. But he has some accrued time to use between now and then. So his last day of work will be next Wednesday, and his walkout will be at noon. So everybody's welcome to come, and if you do see him, make sure you congratulate him on a job well done and a great career here. For the month of February, there were 1,189 calls for service with the police department and 140 911 calls. There were a total of 7 hours overtime for the month, and all 7 hours were for a USERT SWAT call out. Also, there were 22 hours of training for a total, 22 hours of training and 190 traffic summonses for the month of February. And 13 total sick days and 6 hours of sick time, and 0 on-the-job injury days in February. Also on February 22nd, assessors from the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police were at the Kenilworth Police Department here to conduct our on-site reaccreditation. The assessors were extremely impressed with the high standards they observed for each area of concentration. The assessors reviewed over 110 policies and procedures and found that Kenilworth Police Department met the high standards of certification for police best practices for every single policy. Chief Seuss has an appearance before the New Jersey Law Enforcement Accreditation Committee coming up on March 16th in South Brunswick before we receive final approval for reaccreditation. But according to the assessors, it's just simply a formality. And Chief Seuss would like to recognize Lieutenant Chris Bryson and Lieutenant Chris Bryson and Detective Sergeant Michael Scaniello for their hard work and efforts over the last 3 years to get the Kenilworth Police Department reaccredited. Both of these officers spent countless hours preparing, and they are commended by Chief Seuss and by myself and this mayor and council for their professionalism, diligence, and dedication to getting that job done. It is a heavy, heavy lift. And also, accreditation is a tremendous honor for the police department and the town Chief Seuss says he's extremely proud of Lieutenant Bryson and Sergeant Scaniello and all of the officers for their hard work daily and living up to these standards, and our dispatchers and staff. In addition, on February 20th, Sergeant Caverick conducted a motor vehicle stop of a Massachusetts resident on North 14th Street. In the course of his investigation, Sergeant Caverick discovered the driver had over an ounce of crystal methamphetamine and numerous packaging materials in his possession. The driver was charged with two second-degree counts of controlled dangerous substance distribution and 1/3 degree count of distribution in a school zone, being on North 14th Street. He was also charged with several other minor counts for controlled dangerous substance packaging and paraphernalia. Chief Seuss would like to commend Sergeant Caverick for an excellent job in getting a tremendous amount of dangerous narcotics off of our streets here in Kenilworth. In May of this year, coming up, the Kenilworth Police Department will once again be holding the Every 15 Minutes program at the David Burley Regional Middle High School, not the regional, but David Burley Middle and High School. This is for high school juniors and seniors, and the Every 15 Minutes program is a highly emotional 2-day program which focuses on high school students and challenges them to think about drunk driving, personal safety, and the responsibility of making mature decisions. Every 15 minutes simulates a fatal motor vehicle accident and uses high school students as actors, some of whom end up deceased. The program used to be held every other year, but due to COVID pandemic, has not been held since 2018. It was always very well received and is a powerful tool for our high school juniors and seniors heading into the prom and graduation season. And if anybody wants to see what they've done in the past, they are on YouTube, and they're emotional, they're excellent. You could just Google search Kenilworth NJ and Every 15 Minutes, and they will pop up. And they last about 20 minutes a piece, but they're really a great program, and there's a lot of moving parts that go into it, from the video to the students to a court hearing to people dying. And I don't know if they're going to have are they going to have the helicopter this year? Do you know yet or not?
We're working on getting it on lining up right now.
Okay.
That's my preference to have it.
Yeah. So, and in the past, we've had a helicopter actually medevac a student to Morristown Memorial Hospital, and it's, like I said, you have to watch it to see it and believe how impactful it is to the parents, the students, and everybody involved. So, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Sounds like a great program. Planning and zoning, Councilman Finestrella.
That was last.
Gosh, I'm sorry, we did it for so long, that's why I'm really messing up, no roll call. Councilman Morrow.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things to report on tonight. We've been keeping everybody abreast of the new code enforcer, the hire that we made in town. Happy to say that the gentleman has started, has been out there already. Some of you may have seen him. We're getting him spun up into the role, and he's going to be establishing some standard office hours in the building here, maybe one night a week. So we'll get word out about that when it happens. All inspections in town are running up to date, always good news. The number one thing that I usually get asked about when people find out that I'm in this position here with the planning and zoning is what's going on with the apartment building complex that we all heard was coming to town. Permits have been issued, filed for, so we are seeing the start of what everybody was expecting. So that's coming, and that's all I have to report on today.
Excellent. I will add that I called the code enforcer about a situation that I was made aware of, and when I spoke to him, he had already been there, so he was on top of it.
Excellent.
Yep. So Recreation and Fire, Councilman Pence.
Thank you, Mayor. Softball registration for grades K through 8 will be closing on March 3rd. Easter egg hunt tentative scheduled for April 2nd. As far as the fire department goes, we'll be discussing grant programs for fire apparatus with the chief, see what's available.
Okay. Thank you
Just
very
one
much.
question about the Easter egg hunt. That's going to be at Harding or at the Mario? Do we know
Usually
yet?
set to Mario.
It's going to be at the Mario.
Oh, that's right, the Mario can't.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
Mario can't be used. That's why that was my question. We don't, we're not sure yet.
We'll know for sure by the 15th,
Okay.
next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Health, Education, and Human Services, Councilman Scarice.
Thank you, Mayor. Start off with some Board of Health. COVID level is code yellow, so it's in decline. That includes the RS, VP, and all those other respiratory illnesses. Emergency room cases are only 5.33%, and they said that was a nice decline, and we are good in position as far as countywide. We're lower than most other towns in the county. Our contract is up with the Holy Redeemer. The services are over, but they hired someone to maintain taking blood pressure for the seniors, and they said the cost should be the same. Retro Fitness had violations with their tanning set up, and they're going to hold, not renewing their license until they're in full compliance with that particular part. Also, a KW Health application pending approval. Looking to set dates for this fall for health fair and rabies clinic. Usually the fourth day in September, but there was some possible, they may move it. I don't know if it's not cast in stone yet. They also have some, the rabies clinic will be October 21st with a November 4th rain date at St. Teresa's like it's been. Again, I don't know if these are actually posted, but these were some things we talked about. The Michigan Pub restaurant used to be, was at Mulcahy's years ago. It's no longer a bar. They got rid of the bar and the liquor license. It's just a restaurant. The only issue was that most of the renovations were done, I think, before there was building inspections, so they're once you go to a certain point, you're supposed to update to the more modern code, and so there might have been some issues with Board of Health. They'll have to go ahead and check into that. I don't know if they're going to be able to make them install those or not. That was some of the discussion. And the other thing was these Wonder Trucks. I don't know if you guys ever saw them or got the advertisement. They have to change their business model to strictly food delivery service. Otherwise, they would have to license each mobile unit by the Board of Health. So obviously, that would basically put them out of business, so they're going to have to redo their model. Somewhere in the state said they want, treating them individually instead of getting one like okay for the whole company.
Blanket.
Yeah, one blanket, like they kind of were operating. They're like, nah, we want you to get one for each truck since each one is cooking. And so they said there's no way they can afford to do that. So that's a change, because then the town would have to license each mobile unit, and they no longer have to have that concern. And that was most of the Board of Health. Let's see, library. Let's see. Right. So March 9th, we have author Horace Sassy will read her book, little EWE, and do a craft at 3:30 for ages 4 to 9. Tuesday, March 14th, Boogie Woogie Babies will present a child dance party. 10:30 ages newborn to 4. 7th and 14th, Paper Pals from 2 to 4. And Thursday, March 2nd and 9th, Yarny's Group 2 to 4. And all that can be found on the library website or Facebook page. And you also can call the library at 908-276-2451. And back to seniors. There's been a lot, we have to establish some new rules and maybe some kind of licensing agreement with the senior club. There is a difference. A lot of people in town, including myself, didn't realize that there's a big difference between the senior club and senior center. I think a lot of people think it's one and the same, but it's not. And so we should hopefully have all those little issues resolved, hopefully by beginning of April. But there's a lot of behind the scenes. We don't wait just for the meeting for have these to move forward. As mentioned, there's a lot of the roof restoration project has been approved and purchasing contract. But the center will be closed during, I don't have any dates, but they said they probably will have to close certain times for major construction at the center for safety. Monday, March 20th,
will be the blood pressure and sugar screening at the Kenilworth Senior Center, 10:30 to 12:30. Still on Mondays, we have line dancing, 11:30 a.m. The lunch starts at 12 after that. Tuesdays, 10:30 a.m. senior fitness, then Garwood Bowling, Garwood Lanes, 1 p.m. on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, 9:30 a.m. Zumba, then lunch at 12, open to the county. And then we have Fridays, 10 a.m. chair yoga with lunch again at 12, sponsored by the county. Major event would be coming up March 23rd, Soups On, put on by local restaurants for the Kenilworth Historical Society to benefit Oswald Nitschke House Museum. Admission's $12. Advance reservations, ticket purchases by March 16th requested. And let's see. Also, the seniors are looking for a backup driver, someone like part-time per diem to fill in for their main driver, Don Corrigan, for when he takes vacation or if he's ill. So they have somebody to run the bus, which seems to be very utilized from what my understanding is. So, but if he's out, then we have no one to drive. The seniors, they can't get around. So they're looking for someone to, as I say, per diem, a couple times to fill in for Don, which I'm not sure how we get that started, but that's all I have for seniors at this point. One other major thing, no nepotism or anything like that at the senior center that I was aware of, that I have not seen any. And that's it.
I just have one question. The liquor license at the Krabby, is it called Krabby?
Crabette.
Yeah.
Crabette. Crabbe, that's it. The owner of that property still owns that liquor license?
No,
It's sold off.
It
Yeah,
was?
they sold the Backyard Grill, so Miguel Caputo has it now.
Okay.
He was opening a bar last week. He just started it. He redesigned one side of his restaurant to be like a tapas restaurant versus the takeout ribs and chicken.
Is there like a sit-down bar, or is it just for?
It's both. So he
Yeah, it's
actually
both.
expanded the bar there and sit
Okay.
down, and there's it's painted, it's a little more restaurant-y versus takeout on the other side. So
Okay.
he purchased it from them.
I
Okay.
think the bar has like
Good.
2 or 3 TV sets, so I guess people...
Yeah, he's got TV set up so for
All right.
like soccer games on
That's good.
weekends and stuff, so.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, can I just
Yes,
make
go
one
right
thing I
ahead.
forgot to tell, which is pretty big deal? We have a new phone system coming. Sorry,
I saw the phone
Lieutenant
on my
Bryce has
desk.
been doing it, yes. But what I wanted to let people know is that you'll still be able to use the old numbers to get to the different departments, but if you dial 9090 now, you will get an auto attendant, and you can from that number, you can get to all the different departments, so you'll have an option. So, for instance, you can still reach the police through their current number, but if you don't remember it, or you're talking to a different department, and you go, oh, now I want to talk to police, that'll be an option on there. So that's something people will notice, and I think they're cutting over tomorrow and Friday. Do you know, Chief, when?
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. So I just
Excellent.
wanted to let people know that that's happening.
I have just one question, Angela. Is there still bad circus music when you're on hold?
I believe that's going away.
Be removed.
Thank you.
Excellent.
First thing we're doing.
Thank you. That was one of the worst.
See, progress happens every day.
And on a good note, for Councilman Puglisi, not only is this a better system for us, it is actually cheaper and saves us money. So we're
Cheaper.
getting better technology, and in the long run, we're paying for it up front. It's going to save us money over the 5-year period.
I'm sure Jill's happy to hear that too.
Win-win all around.
Good job.
Okay, great. Okay, so a motion to accept and approve committee reports.
Motion.
All in favor?
We have 5 ordinances for final adoption tonight. The first is ordinance 2023-2, ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 91, fees and licenses, Article 1, fees generally, Section 1, schedule of fees and licenses, subsection 3, Uniform Commercial Code fees of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Kenilworth.
So there a motion to open the public for hearing on ordinance 2023-2?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say on this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please step forward and state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the, for public hearing and adopt ordinance 2023-2?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Fenestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Scarice.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-2 has been adopted. Ordinance 2023-4, an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain land in the borough of Kenilworth, Block 101, Lot 27, to be sold at private sale in accordance with NJSA 40A:12-13B5.
Excuse me, interrupt you a second, I'm sorry, Angela. These next four instances, Mark, and I think I know the answer to this question, are pretty much substantially similar. Is there any way we can, no, okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, I'm up. Is there a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2023-4?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say on this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please come forward and state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2023-4?
Motion.
Second.
Can I have a roll call?
Councilman Fenestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Scarice.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-4 has been adopted. Ordinance 2023-5, an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain land in the borough of Kenilworth, Block 101, Lot 28, to be sold at private sale in accordance with NJSA 40A:12-13B5.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2023-5?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone have anything to say for this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please come forward and state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2023-5?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Fenestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Scarice.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-5 has been adopted. Ordinance 2023-6, an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain land in the borough of Kenilworth, Block 101, Lot 29, to be sold at private sale in accordance with NJSA 40A:12-13B5.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2023-6?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say on this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please come forward and state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2023-6?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Fenestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Scarice.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-6 has been adopted. Ordinance 2023-7, an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain land in the borough of Kenilworth to be sold at private sale in accordance with NJSA 40A:12-13B5.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2023-7?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say about this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please come forward and state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2023-7?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Fenestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Scarice.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-7 has been adopted.
Okay, at this time, I'm looking for a motion to adopt a resolution amending Resolution 2023-45 to correct the rate for Marco Antonio Studio. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 2023-86?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, I think everyone had a copy when we walked in. Can I have a roll call, Madam Clerk?
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Scurisi.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Next for council consideration is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
The consent agenda consists of resolutions 2023-84 through 2023-85. These resolutions will be approved in one motion. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Scurisi.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Excellent. Is there a motion to open the floor to the public?
I'll make that motion, Mayor. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say for the good and well-being of the borough? Please come forward and state your name and address. Okay. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the floor for public discussion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone else have anything to say for the good and welfare of the borough?
I have one thing, Mayor, not for the welfare of the borough, but I know last year kind of slipped through. The state of New Jersey financials disclosure, the filing I think is April, so we're about a month out for everybody on council and department heads. Just make sure we do it so we don't get fined. I know last year I got notice that I didn't do it, but
I think usually Kathy sends an email.
yeah, but it kind of slipped through last year. We didn't get an email, so I'm just reminding everybody to try and.
I hope I did it. I didn't get an email.
Well, you still have a month. You still have a month to do it, so.
Okay.
Just everybody heads up if you're not
Got
sure.
it, okay, thank you. And I'd like to,
The state of New Jersey financial disclosure, you have to fill out. That's a council film.
okay, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, if there's nothing else to be brought before the council, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, yes, I'm sorry,
Sorry,
we
because
closed the
I
public
think what you were
discussion.
asking about the portion for,
Well, I'm gonna need to open up for public.
are we on public?
No, we passed that.
Thank you.
Okay. If there's nothing else to be brought before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry about that.